Hello everybody and welcome to How To Zeepkist Season 1 Bank Turns. Let's go. You're going to see how we go from like a flat piece into this banked. So like we said before, we're going to stick to the left so that we're not gaining the air from coming in the middle or the top. We're going to try and stay as low as possible throughout this entire thing. If you want, you can use this as a little bit of a ramp to try and jump off and onto this downslope. These turns are really weird. So there's a couple ways that you can take them. You can try and do an outer wall ride. However, one of the weird things about these turns is that when you're going up higher on the turn, because you've lost some speed, like Day Rex is doing right now. Don't know why. Okay. But because you are going higher up on the turn, you're losing speed, which makes the turn easier to make without smoking. And keep going. This can be the first time that we see this specific movement. The real idea is we're going to be staying down the center. You want your cart to be able to roll from one side to the other. Getting over here, again going as low as possible, and getting over to that finish. So that's the basics on this track. We're going to go do a couple runs through this, and then see if I can show what I'm talking about. So that's that like little downhill you can try and get. Now going up high, like I said, to purposely be going a little bit slower. Not like we're permanently losing speed. We're just transferring that speed from potential energy to kinetic energy. We're not going fast enough for that to be an issue. Let me show you this again in photo mode. So if you're going faster at this point, you're going to want to make sure that you're on the right side of this and you're going to turn in, because this little drop right here, you'll gain air and lose some time. But we're going slow enough at this end where we can just cut in and we're not going to gain any air. So I'm going to show you without that jump. Notice how we're going to get more air and it's going to be a little bit more rough. Not saying that one way is always better than the other. Sometimes you have to play around and see what works better for what map or what given speed you're currently going. That's one of the difficulties in Zeepkist is like I can try and tell you what the optimal line is, but if you're going slower or faster than me, that optimal line can change. Maki's doing what he calls a perfect enter. Which is why a lot of people do not like these inner blockers, because you can still enter them. There's obviously a lot of really fast players here as well. Let's see if I can try and get that perfect enter to kind of show you guys what I was talking about with Maki. If you wheel hook this, you can get it, but supposedly. Is mayonnaise an instrument? Grim, yes, mayonnaise is an instrument. Don't listen to Squidward. So you notice right there, I went a little bit too high and I started actually unadhering from that road. That's not something you want to do. Again, that's where you can kind of like try and adjust mid-run a little bit. Being higher on the reverse banks turns makes them tighter. So changing elevation, i.e. kind of going diagonal, helps not flying off. Yes. So just to kind of like further explain what he's saying. So the idea is that you're not going to be specifically like staying at one elevation throughout that turn. By going up or down, same thing with like wall rides, by going up and down, it actually allows your cart to stick a little bit better. So we're going to try and change some of this elevation. You can also try and go a little bit diagonal there. So yeah, with this part, you can see how like my cart's like slightly rolling from left to right. That's what I meant by like the roll. There are some later on that you're gonna be using that a lot more, with a lot more speed, and it actually feels really good. So you see, we can kind of like go diagonal, try and get a little bit more of that downhill. I lost some speed because I didn't go perfectly middle there, but so I did notice there are people who are trying to do an inner at the start that misses the checkpoint. Something you guys always want to make sure that you do is make sure that you guys actually hit the checkpoints. Yeah. You see, I did try a little inner there that I think's faster, but Quick Racer didn't even do a single inner for his run, so it kind of shows you too that sometimes some inners are just not worth it. Or some players are just so fast that they don't need to worry about them. Whatever the use case is. Oh, you did do the inner. Okay. Makes sense. Yes, there will be. That's going to be in a later episode. We're going over a lot more of the basics first. At least to me, ice is still not necessarily prevalent enough. There's going to be actually a few different versions of ice as well, or 2 different versions. There's going to be a specifically ice, and there's going to be specifically bobsled because they're totally different. This is going to be a relatively long-term stream. Because I think there's a lot of information that can be learned. And like I said, it's also down to, this playlist. I will be sharing this playlist. It's a great way of practicing for everyone. When you have like one specific thing, like bank turns, or like the next episode, which is going to be fans and boosters, and how to like take them and the different nuances of them, you're going to have the ability to like focus in on that one skill, and I think a lot of playlists don't offer that. Unfortunately, with some of these easier ones, I don't know how much information there is to do. I will ask you guys if you guys think, do you think I should cut up the videos also to make sure that it's only like the more interesting parts, the more informational parts, or do we want to have like things like this question right here? Obviously, cutting up the video is going to be a lot more work, but one of the other things you can do to try to become a better player is watching better players. So you have people like Maki who you can try and spectate or just watch while like you're behind them on a run and see what they're doing. Ooh. That's interesting, Jabla. I don't know how I would be able to do that, Jabla. I might be able to. I also think if any, is that inner really a thing? Once again, with the watching other players. Ooh. All right. So, I wouldn't have thought about doing that ever. I play tested these all. I didn't notice that inner. So, everybody's going to have a different view of a map and be able to see something that like may or may not be possible. Like, I'm questioning if that's possible right now. I would like to thank everyone for watching the video, and if you are new here, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.